Welcome back sa ating Business and Transfer Tax class. Tayo pa rin ay nasa estate taxation, particularly sa estate ng married individual na. Ako pa rin ang inyong guro, Romualdo Fernandez Credo. Kung kayo ay handa na, kumuha ng ballpen at papel para sa inyong notes. So let's start. So as mentioned dun sa previous slide, we will tackle yung estate ng married dissident. So under sa Philippine law, the relationship between the spouses may govern by contract executed before the marriage. So dapat bago ikasal yung mag-asawa, dapat meron na silang property relationship. So ano ang mga possible property relationship nila? Letter A, absolute community of property. Letter B, relative community or yung tinatawag nating conjugal partnership of gains. Pwede rin naman letter C, complete separation of property, and letter D, any other property relationship na gusto ng mag-asawa. However, if the spouses failed to execute a contract before the marriage, or if the contract executed is void, so ito yung ruling. Ito yung mag-a-apply. So letter A, on marriages contracted before August 3, 1988, the system of conjugal partnership will govern. So kung hindi sila nagkaroon ng agreement or kung nagkaroon man sila ng agreement pero it is not valid, then ang masusunod na property relationship for the spouses is yung conjugal partnership of gains kapag ang kasal ay nangyari bago mag-August 3, 1988. So, para sa mga ikakasal pa lang, hindi na mag-a-apply itong rule na to. Kasi nga, before August 3, 1988, yung mga kinasal lamang bago mag-August 3, 1988, yung adoption ng ating bagong family code. So ngayon, ito na ngayon ang mag-a-apply. Kung hindi ka nagkaroon ng property relationship agreement before ka ikasal, ito na ngayon, letter B ang mag-a-apply. On marriages contracted on or after, kasi pagkatapos na ng August 3, effectivity nga yan ng ating family code sa Philippines, ang mag-a-apply na sa'yo is yung absolute community of property. Whether the property relationship is absolute community of property or conjugal partnership of gains, or yung tinatawag din siya minsan na relative community of property, the net property of decedent who was married will fall into two categories. So, regardless kung ano ang property relationship ninyo, ang property mo doon sa gross estate ay maka-classify into the following. Una ay yung exclusive property, yung owned only by either the husband or the wife. So kung sa husband lang, exclusive property yon. Kung property ni wife lang, exclusive property pa rin yun ni wife. Kung sino man ang decedent sa kanila. And then, of course, kung may exclusive property, meron din tayong letter B, yung net property jointly owned or tinatawag yung community property kapag absolute community of property relationship sila, or yung tinatawag na conjugal property kung sila ay conjugal partnership of gains ang kanilang property relationship. So, I'll repeat. Lahat ng married decedent ay maka-classify yung property niya as either exclusive, sarili niya, or yung common property ng spouses. So ito yung sample pro forma computation ng estate or net estate ng spouses na decedent. So as you can see, mayroong classification as exclusive property at saka joint. Ulitin natin, yung joint pwede siyang community property or kapag absolute community of property relationship sila, or pwede namang conjugal ang tawag kapag ang property relationship nila ay conjugal partnership of gains. In either way, parehas yan na pag-aari ni husband and wife. Unlike yung sa exclusive, na isa lang ang may-ari sa kanila. It's either si husband or si wife. So, as you can see, yung gross estate, mayroong property A, B, C, and D. Kasi yung E, total gross estate na yon, di ba? Yung item E, total gross estate. So, tinotal lang. So, mayroong exclusive property, mayroon tayong i-classify na common property. Tapos, then, i-extend mo lang yung exclusive sa joint property dun sa total. Tapos, magkakaroon ng separate total for exclusive at saka joint property. Then, yung total din nun, naka-extend sa total column, sa third money column. Next, let's move sa deduction. Ordinary deduction. So, various deduction yan. Ang daming ordinary deduction. So, yung ordinary deduction can be classified din as exclusive or community. So, kung hindi mo ma-identify yung deduction, kung community or exclusive siya, so magpo-fall siya under community property. Pero usually, kung yung liability ay yung deduction ay naka-attach dun sa property, usually it will follow. So, kung kinasify mo yung property as exclusive din yung related deduction. May mga ganong kasing item na yung deduction ay naka-base doon sa property, no? Halimbawa, yung mortgage, 'di ba? Ay naka-attach doon sa property na exclusive. So yung deduction will be exclusive din. So kung nasa joint siya o common property siya, yung property, yung deduction will also be classified as common or joint. Ayan. So after ng ordinary deduction, kukunin mo lang yung difference ng gross estate sa ordinary deductions para makakuha ka ng net exclusive at saka net joint properties. So, ganun pa rin, naka-extend pa rin sa total yung total net exclusive at saka net joint properties. So, after this, i-combine mo na, diba? So, wala na yung exclusive saka joint property. So, yung special deductions na standard deductions saka family home will be deducted dun sa total na, dun sa last column. And then, bago makuha yung net taxable estate, may bago tayong item na wala sa deduction ng single na decedent. Nawala doon sa deduction ng single na decedent. So, kukunin natin yung net share of the surviving spouse. So, hindi pwedeng masubject to estate tax yung kalahati ng joint property kasi 'di ba yung estate tax is tax doon sa namatay. So, tatanggalin natin yung tax ay yung property nung surviving spouse. It's either yung husband or the wife. Diba? Kasi hindi mo dapat i-tax yun kasi buhay naman siya. Hindi mo dapat i-subject ng estate tax yun kasi buhay naman siya. So, yun yung logic kaya kukunin natin yung net share of the surviving spouse. Ulitin natin. Bakit kukunin mo yung net share of the surviving spouse? Kasi yung surviving spouse ay buhay pa. Hindi pa siya dapat masubject ng estate tax. So, tatanggalin mo yung kalahati ng joint property kasi nga joint nila yon sa kanilang dalawa. So, yung kalahati hindi dapat matax. So, 1/2 of joint property will be deducted kasama ng standard at saka family home. Then, deduct mo na yung tatlo sa net exclusive at saka joint properties, yung special deduction na standard, saka family home, at saka net share of the surviving spouse, yan, makukuha mo na yung net taxable estate. And kung may net taxable estate ka na, multiply mo ng 6%, makukuha mo na yung estate tax. Okay, so let's discuss una yung conjugal partnership of gains. So kanina pa tayo mention ng conjugal property o yung common property under conjugal partnership of gains, saka community property, yung common property ng husband and wife kapag absolute community of property relationship sila. So ano nga ba ang kasama sa common at saka exclusive properties? Okay, so umpisan natin sa conjugal partnership of gains. So ang exclusive property ni decedent kapag conjugal partnership of gains, ang kanyang property relationship ay itong mga ito. Number one, that which is brought to the marriage as his or her own. So kung mayroon na siyang property bago siya ikasal, kapag conjugal partnership of gains, ang kanyang property relationship, exclusive property pa rin niya yun. So halimbawa, meron ka ng house and lot, meron ka ng condominium, meron ka ng car, meron ka ng farm bago ka ikasal. So, pag kinasal ka, magiging exclusive property mo pa rin yun kapag ikaw ay conjugal partnership of gains. So, lahat ng dinala ni husband or ni wife na property bago siya ikasal, yung mga property na meron na siya, exclusive property pa rin yun. Hindi magiging common property. Kapag ang property relationship ay conjugal partnership of gains. So, ulitin natin kapag conjugal partnership of gains ay exclusive pa rin yun. Number 2, that which is acquired during the marriage by gratuitous title. So, ano yung gratuitous title? Inheritance or gift. Kahit kasal na sila, kung may na-acquire siyang property through inheritance or binigay, dinonate sa kanya, regalo. So, magiging exclusive property pa rin yun. Halimbawa, kasal na sila during the marriage So, halimbawa, kasal na sila pero nakamana siya ng property, exclusive property pa rin niya yun. Okay, may nag-donate sa kanya yung parents niya habang kasal sila, exclusive pa rin niya yun. So, yung ibig sabihin ng during the marriage is yung term ng kasal nila, hindi yung celebration, hindi yung celebration ang sinasabing during the marriage. Habang kasal silang dalawa, so anytime na maka-receive sila ng inheritance or gift, exclusive property nila yon under conjugal partnership of gains. Number 3, that which is acquired by right of redemption or exchange of property belonging to only one of the spouses. So, yung right of redemption, yun yung halimbawa kung owner sila sa property, sa isang property, tapos binenta yung property without him knowing, no? So, magkakaroon siya ngayon since co-owner siya ng property, magkakaroon siya na ngayon ng right to redeem yung property. Kasi hindi pwedeng ibenta yung property without his approval. Kasi co-owner siya, di ba? So, right of redemption. So, pag in-exercise niya yung right of redemption niya, tapos ang isang requirement ay yung pinambili niya is exclusive property niya. So, yung property na na-acquire niya through right of redemption ay exclusive property pa rin niya. Number 4, that which is purchased with exclusive money of the wife or the husband. So, anything na na-purchase o nakuha using yung exclusive property will be also an exclusive. So, ano naman ang common property? So, ang dami-daming exclusive property. So, ano naman yung mga common property under conjugal partnership of gains? So, pag sinabi natin conjugal property, yan na yung property ng husband and wife. property that cannot definitely be identified as exclusive. So, kung wala kang proof na yung property ay exclusive property ni husband and wife, then makaklasify siya as conjugal property. Wala kang ebidensya na yun ay exclusive mo. So, ang assumption is sa inyong dalawa ni sa husband and wife yung property. Property will be presumed to be conjugal property. Okay. So, yan yung guidelines or yung rules sa pag-classify ng exclusive at saka conjugal properties under the conjugal partnership of gains. Now, for absolute community of property naman, so ano-ano yung considered as exclusive property, ano naman yung considered as common property. So, number 1, doon tayo sa exclusive. Property acquired by gratuitous title by either spouse and the fruits as well as the income thereof, if any, unless it is expressly provided by the donor, testator, grantor that they will be form part of the property. So, any property na na-acquire during the marriage by gratuitous title, kasama na yung income, fruit, sabi, yung income and addition do sa property, magiging exclusive property din yon, unless sinabi ng nagbigay na yan ay common property. Pero pag hindi sinabing common property yan ay exclusive. So, pero siyempre, pag sinabi na community property, nandun sa term ng pagbigay, ng terms and conditions sa pagbigay, edi wala tayong magagawa. Pero in general, it is an exclusive property. Number 2, property for personal and exclusive use of either spouse. However, except jewelry, kasi jewelry will be a community property. So, exclusive property, personal and exclusive use of the wife na property is an exclusive property. Number 3, property acquired before the marriage by either spouse who have legitimate descendants by former marriage and the fruits as well as the income. Yung fruit or income will be yung addition or increase in value ng sinasabing property. So, ulitin lang natin yung property acquired before the marriage. Sa kabila, sa conjugal, it will remain as conjugal property. Pero dito sa absolute community, hindi na magiging ganun yung case, no? Hindi na magiging ganun yung case. So, para maging exclusive yung property, dapat meron kang legitimate descendants. So, kung may property ka before the marriage, wala kang anak, magiging common property na yun under absolute community of property. Unless meron kang legitimate descendants. Ano ibig sabihin ng legitimate descendants? Meron kang anak by former marriage. No? So, meron ka ng anak. Yung property mo, existing, bago kayo kasal, magiging exclusive pa rin. Kasi nga meron kang anak. Pero kung wala, yung condition nun is meron kang legitimate descendants. So, kung absent yung legitimate, yung condition, ibig sabihin magiging common na yung property. Kasi nga, ang common property under absolute community of property ay property that cannot be identified as exclusive will be presumed to be community property. In general, if the property is exclusive, any charge related to it is exclusive. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina na it will follow yung classification ng property kapag ang deduction ay related dun sa property. Diba? So, kung na-classify yung property as exclusive, yung related deduction is exclusive. And if the property is joint, yung related charge noon will be deducted din sa joint. The special deduction for itself, 1/2 of the value is included in the gross estate but not to exceed 3 million pesos. Okay, so let's apply. Let's compute net estate of a married decedent. So, basahin lang natin yung problem. Mr. Ramon Basco, a citizen and resident of the Philippines, married under the property relationship of absolute community of property during the marriage, died with properties and obligations that follow. Real properties inherited from the father 10 years ago, and before the marriage. So, ibig sabihin, 10 years ago, wala na yung vanishing deduction kasi hanggang 5 years lang ang vanishing deduction. So, 20 million yon. Real properties received as a gift from mother 7 years ago. So, ganun din. Nag-exceed na ng 5 years, wala na siyang vanishing deduction. So, 5 million. Cash, income from property received as gift, 950,000. Real property owned by Mrs. Basco before the marriage. So, 3 million yun. Real property, which is the family home, 15 million. Obligations incurred during the marriage, 1.5 million. Determine the estate tax and the net taxable estate would have been computed as follows. So, ganito yung computation ng net estate ni Mr. Ramon Basco. Okay, so, let's classify yung gross estate ni Mr. Basco based doon sa classification ng estate ng married individual o married decedent. So, let's classify them as exclusive or common property or yung community property. Okay, so yung first real property inherited before marriage is 20 million. So, na-inherit siya before marriage. So, property that is brought to the marriage will be a community property na or common property under the community property relationship. So, ikalalagay natin siya sa community property. Magiging exclusive lang yan kapag mayroong legitimate descendant si decedent. Eh, kaso wala naman. Kaya, hindi siya exclusive sa community. Next, real property received as gift during the marriage, 5 million. So, na-receive niya as gift. So, any property acquired gratuitously unless sasabihin ng donor or ng nagbigay na magiging common property yon, that's the time na magiging common property. Pero since walang stipulation or agreement na magiging community property yun, so yung general classification niya is exclusive. Property acquired gratuitously is exclusive. So, 5 million. Okay, ganun din yung income or fruit ng property will be exclusive din kung exclusive yung property. Kaya yung 950,000 na income from property received as gift, exclusive din siya. Real property owned by Mrs. Basco before the marriage. So na-acquire ni Mrs. Basco, although hindi siya si decedent, ang decedent ay si Rodney Basco. However, community property kasi yon, common property nila. So, entitled siya ng 1/2. Kaya, si Mr. Basco. Kaya ilalagay natin siya sa community property, 3 million. And then, other real property rather, which is yung family home nila, 15 million. So, since family home yan, common property yan. So, yan yung classification ng exclusive sa community property ni Mr. Basco. Yung decedent natin. Gross estate na exclusive is 5,950,000. Community property niya is 38 million. Then, let's proceed sa deduction. Isa lang naman. Obligations incurred during the marriage. So, 1.5 million. So, it is during the marriage. So, nag-benefit ang family. So, common deduction yun. So, ilalagay natin sa community property. That will give you a net exclusive of 5,950,000 and net community property of 36,500,000. Let's proceed dun sa special deduction. So, ang rule natin sa family home is yung fair market value but not to exceed 10 million. So, 15 million ang kanyang fair market value. However, since community property yan, hati yung husband and wife. So, entitled sila mismo ng 10 million each. So, hatiin mo. So, magiging 7.5 million na lang or 7,500,000. So, since hindi naman na-exceed nung fair market value na 7.5 million, yung 10 million na limit na ceiling natin for family home, So, ang allowed as deduction is yung 7.5 million. So, the moment na ma-exceed na niya yung 10 million, so hanggang 10 million na lang. Pero hindi naman niya. Next, we have a standard deduction of 5 million. So, we have a standard deduction of 5 million dapat. So, paki-correct na lang to. Medyo bakit 10 million yung kanyang standard deduction. So, nakalagay naman sa ating book na ang standard deduction is an automatic deduction of 5 million. So, pakibago na lang to sa solution ni author. So, gawing 5 million yung 10 million. No? So, paki-adjust na lang natin yung solution ni author. 5 million dapat. Yung standard deduction. Next, kunin natin yung bagong deduction, which is yung share of the surviving spouse. So, tatanggalin natin yung share of the surviving spouse ni Mrs. Basco kasi hindi naman namatay si Mrs. Basco. So, dapat yung share niya dun sa community property, hindi dapat masubject sa tax. Kaya tanggalin natin 36,500,000. Kalahati niyan times 1/2. So, 18,250,000 lang. So, ulitin natin. Hindi yan yung ating net taxable estate at saka hindi yan yung estate tax natin kasi may adjustment tayo dun sa standard deduction. So, 43,950,000 minus 1.5 million minus 7.5 million minus 5 million. Dapat yan, standard deduction of 5 million. Tapos, yung share of the surviving spouse na 18,250, yun na. Bahala na kayong mag-compute niyan. Basta, baguhin lang yung standard deduction na 10 million. Instead, gawing 5 million. So, kapag dineduct nyo yan, lahat, yung special deduction, kasama na yung 1.5 million, makukuha mo yung net taxable estate. And then, multiply mo ng, kayo nang bahala mag-compute nun. And then, yung estate tax of 6%. Multiply mo din lang yung 6%. That will give you yung net taxable estate at saka net estate. So, ulitin natin, hindi 6.7 million at saka 552,000 ang sagot kasi may adjustment tayo. Binago natin yung standard deduction. It should be 5 million. Okay, so let's have another example. Property inherited 3.5 years ago and before the marriage with a fair market value of 1.5 million. So, fair market value then sa previous decedent is 1.5 million and ang fair market value niya now is 2 million. So, 3.5 years ago, na-inherit, ibig sabihin yan, within 5 years, so mayroon tayong vanishing deduction. Kaya nga mayroong present market value na 3 million at saka yung prior fair market value. So, mayroong then and now. So, ang then noon, 1.5 million. So, ngayon, 2 million na siya. So, of course, alam niyo na yung rule, whichever is lower. So, ang initial basis natin mamaya, pag nag-compute tayo ng vanishing deduction is 1.5 million. So, meron din siyang property acquired with own money. 1 million. Other property, 2 million. Special items of ordinary deduction. So, losses, claims against the estate, etc. amounted to 1 million. So, net, ang requirement is to compute yung net taxable estate of the spouses under the absolute community of property at saka yung under the conjugal partnership of gain. Okay, so let's classify yung property ni decedent under absolute community of property. So, yung inherited property niya, same ang reason kung bakit siya community doon sa previous problem. Kasi, all property existing before the marriage will be a community property or common property. Pag-aari na ni husband and wife lang. Wife. Yan. Pero, kapag meron siyang legitimate descendants, ulitin lang natin, may anak siya, for example, that's the time na magiging exclusive. Pero since walang sinabing anak, si decedent, kaya community yung property. Property acquired with own money is of course exclusive kasi own money yung ginamit niya. 1 million yan. Other property, walang sinabi na information, so it is a community property. So, ganun yun. Kung wala kang proof na yun ay exclusive, then hindi ka makapag-decide na para may classify sa exclusive, then it is a community property. So, ang total exclusive is 1 million. 4 million ang community property. Other deduction, 1 million. Yung vanishing deduction is 480. So, na ganito ang computation ng vanishing deduction. So, na-discuss na natin kanina yung value to pay, 1.5 million. Tapos, babawasan mo yan ng mortgage payment, yung first deduction natin. Kaso, walang mortgage payment. So, yung second deduction natin, meron yung value as reduced in letter B, sabi dyan, pero wala naman tayong binawas kasi nga wala namang mortgage payment. So, still yung 1.5 million pa rin ang gagamitin natin. So, i-divide natin ng total gross estate niyan, which is 5 million kasi 1 million plus 4 million. So, multiply natin yan sa deduction na 1 million. So, 300,000. So, 1.5 million minus 300,000 is 1.2. Yan yung ating final basis ng vanishing deduction. Then, multiply na natin sa rates. 3.5 years, kaya 40%. So, alam niyo na yung kung kailan 100, 80, 60, at saka 40, and then 20, and then wala na. After 5 years, wala nang vanishing deduction. Ayan, so 480 yung vanishing deduction. So, sama natin siya sa community property. Kasi yung inherited property ay nandun sa community property, so it will follow. So, next, let's continue. Standard deduction niya, bakit 1 million? Siguro, old problem ito na nilagay ni author sa kanyang libro. Sige, sundin na lang natin yung, kasi before, 1 million lang kasi ang standard deduction. Pero nung nag-train law, binago yung rates, kaya niya siguro hindi nilagay yung computation ng net taxable estate kasi 6% na, di ba? 6% na, pero dati, nung 1 million ang standard deduction kasi table pa lang ang ginagamit. So, magkaiba ang rates dati. No? So, anyway, alam niyo naman na ang standard deduction today is 5 million. Pero, we will use na lang yung luma na standard deduction, which is 1 million. Dati yan. So, ulitin ko, yung standard deduction na dati is 1 million. So, lumang problem siguro itong ginamit ni author, hindi niya na-edit. So, as you can see, dun sa kanyang solution, hindi na niya pinakita yung computation ng estate tax na 6%. Kasi kapag 6%, dapat yung bago na ang gagamitin. So, dapat yung standard deduction is 5 million na. Pero, let's keep it that way na lang yung solution ni author. Anyway, basta alam nyo na, ang importante alam nyo na currently ang standard deduction is 1 million. So, let's assume na, 5 million rather. 5 million, ulitin natin. Ang standard deduction is 5 million currently. So, at present, 5 million na siya. Kasi kung gagamitin natin kasi yung 5 million, unlike yung problem kanina na binago natin yung standard deduction niya, it will not affect. Pero ito hindi mababago kasi yung magiging 5 million, di magni-negative na, no? Hindi na magandang. So, let's use 1 million na lang. So, let's assume na yan pa rin ang current standard deduction. So, minus 1 million, 2 million, 520. Tapos, kunin mo yung kalahati ng community property, 1 million 260. So, ang net taxable estate is 1 million 260. Again, i-remind ko sa inyo, currently, ang standard deduction na natin is 5 million. Okay, so let's discuss naman yung computation ng net estate kapag ang property relationship nila is conjugal. As you can see, nagbago, no? So, yung inherited property na 2 million, nasa exclusive na siya. Kasi nga, property existing sa conjugal partnership of gains before the marriage will remain as exclusive sa conjugal partnership of gains. Regardless kung may anak ka o wala from previous marriage, exclusive pa rin yun. So, yun ang kaibahan niya sa absolute community. Ang kaibahan ng conjugal sa absolute community. No? So, ulitin natin. So, ang rule kasi sa conjugal partnership of gains, property existing before the marriage will remain as exclusive property. Property acquired with own money is of course exclusive. And yung other property, sabi nga natin, walang ibang information. So, let's treat that as common property. So, ilalagay natin yung sa conjugal property. So, we have a gross estate na exclusive na 3 million, conjugal na 2 million. Other deduction, 1 million. And then, yung vanishing deduction na natin, sinundan niya. As you can see, sinundan niya yung inherited property. Yun nga sabi natin. Yung related deduction, yung deduction related dun sa gross, dun sa property will follow. Diba? So, ilalagay din natin yung 480. So, hindi na natin i-discuss paano nakuha, no? Yung 480 kasi na-discuss na kanina. So, exclusive na ngayon. So, under conjugal partnership of gains, ang net exclusive is 2,520,000. Ang net conjugal is 1 million na lang. So, add mo yon. Then, katulad nung sinabi ko kanina, maybe this illustration or this problem uses yung lumang standard deduction which is 1 million. Diba? Noong dati pa, nung graduated rates din ang ginagamit sa pag-compute ng estate tax. Pero at present, alam nyo na, 5 million na dapat yan. So, let's assume na correct yung standard deduction na yan. So, ang net estate is 2,520,000. And then, babawas mo pa yung share of the surviving spouse. O pwede rin naman katulad ng previous solution natin, huwag mo munang kukunin yung net. Ibawas mo na kagad yung share of the surviving spouse, which is 1/2 of common property. That is yung conjugal. So, 500,000. So, ang net estate is, subject to estate tax is 2,020,000. Again, yung standard deduction is 5 million na currently. So, ginamit na lang natin yung previous na 1 million kasi yan yung nasa libro na ating ginagamit. Yung ginagamit nating book is train law na naman na updated sabi doon, kaya ko nga binili. Kaya lang, however, hindi naman complete yung pagkaka-edit ng mga author. Ganyan talagang problema pag may bago. Minsan, hirap baguhin ng mga author yung kanilang mga books din para isunod dun sa bago. Estate tax return, tax payment, and administrative requirements. So, dito tayo sa filing of estate tax return. An estate tax return is required to be filed under oath by the executor, administrator, or any of the legal heirs when the estate is, yan. So, malinaw yan. So, ang magpa-file is yung executor or yung administrator. Hindi na yung decedent kasi patay na siya o hindi na siya babangon para mag-file ng estate tax return. So, it's either yung executor or yung administrator. So, executor, ang tawag mo kapag si decedent mismo ang pumili kung sino mag-aayos ng kanyang estate. No? Executor, pinili niya. Halimbawa, kumuha siya ng lawyer, siya, katulad nung napapanood niyo sa pelikula, after niyang mamatay, may lawyer na kumakausap sa mga heir. So, pag siya ang pumili nun, ibig sabihin, executor siya. Siya ang mag-execute ng kanyang last will and testament. Pero, kapag wala naman, pwedeng, at may conflict, most of the time, nag-a-appoint ang court. Ang court na ang nagbibigay, ang nag-a-assign kung sino ang magiging administrator, sino magdi-distribute ng kanyang, ng heir ng decedent, especially kung mayaman yan, no? Ayan, so magkakaroon ng administrator. Or, kung wala naman, pwedeng ang executor or administrator is yung legal heirs. Diba? So, kailan sila magpa-file? When the estate is subject to tax. So, kapag may babayaran silang tax. Or regardless of the value of the estate, when the estate consists of registered or registrable property such as real property, motor vehicle, shares of stock, and similar property with certificate authorizing from the Bureau of Internal Revenue as required condition precedent to the transfer of ownership in the name of the transferee. Okay, so kung mayroon kayong kung subject kayo ng estate tax, at saka kung kahit wala kang babayarang estate tax, kung ang mga property ng decedent ay real property. So, kung may real property siya, kahit wala siyang babayarang tax, kasi hindi matatransfer yung ownership ng real property, hindi malilipat yung pangalan ng real property na yun unless mayroong certification galing sa BIR na nasettle na yung estate tax. So, kailangan mong i-file yung estate tax return para magkaroon ka ng estate tax ng clearance para may transfer yung ownership ng real property. Ganon din yung motor vehicle shares of stock kasi yun yung mga property na registrable. So, nakaregister yan kasi sa name ng decedent. So, syempre, kailangan may lipat sa year. So, in that case, kailangan talagang kahit magkano, kahit 500,000 lang, kahit 500,000 kasi wala ka nang babayarang tax kasi yung standard deduction lang natin is 5 million na. So, kahit wala kang babayarang tax, kung mayroon kang land doon sa property, shares of stock, or motor vehicle, lahat ng pinaparehistro, kailangan mo mag-file ng return kasi nga hindi matratransfer yung ownership. Another requirement, kapag ang iyong gross estate ay nag-exceed ng 5 million and 1 peso, pwede na, nag-exceed na yan. So, kailangan na ng certification ng Certified Public Accountant. So, kailangan nyo na ng assistance ng CPA kapag ang kanyang gross estate ay 5 million, nag-exceed ng 5 million. So, 5 million hindi pa, no? Pag flat 5 million, hindi pa kailangan ng services ng CPA. Pero the moment na mag-exceed yan, sabi ko, 5 million in 1 peso, kailangan na yan ng pirma ng CPA. So, ano ba ang kasama dun sa report ng CPA? Itemized assets of the decedent with corresponding gross value at the time of his death. So, magagawa siya ng listahan ng assets existing ng decedent. Itemized deduction from the gross estate para makuha yung taxable estate. So, siyempre, kung kasama mayroong gross estate, meron din dapat deduction para makompute yung net taxable estate. And then, letter C, siyempre yung amount ng tax, whether paid or still due or outstanding. Bayad na ba yan? Babayaran pa lang? Siyempre kasama doon sa whether bayad na yan o babayaran pa lang, siyempre kasama pa rin doon sa gagawing statement ng CPA. Basta andun na lahat yon. Basta, pag nag-exceed na ng 5 million, si CPA na ang bahala. Maghanap na lang kayo ng CPA according sa BIR. Estate tax return after decedent's death in meritorious cases, the Bureau of Internal Revenue may give a reasonable extension of not exceeding 30 days from the filing of return. So, in meritorious cases, kapag tingin nyo meritorious yung cases para ma-extend yung settlement period ng inyong estate tax, pwede naman i-apply sa BIR ng extension ng another 30 days. The application for extension of time to file the estate tax return must be filed with the Bureau of Internal Revenue. So, kung tingin ninyo, hindi nyo kayang tapusin dun sa settlement period na binigay para sa estate tax, so pwede kayong mag-apply for extension na 30 days. So, saan ipa-file? Sa Revenue District Office where the estate tax is required to secure its tax identification number. Kung saan kumuha ng estate, di ba magiging taxpayer si estate? So, dapat mayroon siyang PIN din kasi magbabayad siya ng tax. So, doon, kung saan nakakuha ng PIN yung estate, doon dapat mag-file ng estate tax return at syempre mag-file ng extension kung hindi kayang tapusin within that given period. So, as a general rule, the estate tax shall be paid at the time the return is filed. So, ang general rule daw is kapag nag-file ka ng return, pag ibibigay mo na yung return na pinapagawa ng BIR, estate tax return ang tawag doon, pag binigay mo na, pag okay na, ibibigay mo na, then bayaran mo na. The commissioner shall find the payment of estate tax or any part thereof shall cause undue hardship upon the any of the estate of any of the years, he may extend the payment of such tax not exceeding 5 years. Okay, so kung tingin nila mahirapan kang isettle yung estate tax, pwede nilang i-extend yung payment mo no up to 5 years. Kapag 5 years kapag merong court case. Halimbawa, nagdemandahan yung mga years. So, may court, yung settlement talaga is dumaan sa court. So, pwedeng 5 years. Pero, not exceed 2 years in case the estate is settled extrajudicially. Kung hindi naman sinettle yan sa court, medyo magulo lang talaga yung mga years, pwedeng mag-extend yan, pero hindi dapat hanggang mag-extend more than 2 years. Hanggang 2 years lang. Hindi pwede mag-extend ng more than 2 years. Where the request for extension by reason of negligence, intentional disregard, or rules of regulation or fraud on the part of the taxpayer, ayun. So in that case, wala nang extension. Hindi pwedeng i-approve kapag ang cost ng extension ay negligence, kapabayaan, hindi mo lang pinapansin yung rules and regulation o kaya may fraud. In that case, may katiwalian. In that case, hindi ka na bibigyan ng extension na 5 years or 2 years or kahit na 30 days. Payment of the tax by installment and partial disposition of the estate. In case if insufficiency of cash for the immediate payment of the total estate tax due, the state may be allowed to pay through the following options. So parang pag kulang yung pera, pwedeng i-avail yung ganitong payment. So cash installment. So pwedeng cash installment. Cash installment shall be made within 2 years from the date of filing of estate tax return. So, kailangan bayaran mo yon within 2 years. Yung estate tax. Number 2, the estate tax return shall be filed within 1 year from the death of decedent's death. However, yung estate tax return, kailangan mong i-file within 1 year. Number 3, frequency. So, mamili ka annually, monthly, or quarterly, or semi-annually ang payment mo. Deadline and amount of each installment shall be indicated in the estate tax return subject to approval ng BIR. So, ipa-approve mo kung ano ba yan, monthly, quarterly, kung mas mas affordable sa yung monthly o quarterly, o mas convenient sa yung annual na lang para minsanan. Pero kailangan i-approve ng BIR. Number 4, in case of lapse of 2 years without payment of the estate tax due, the remaining balance shall be due and payable. So kapag nag-lapse na and hindi ka nagbayad, then magiging immediately yung lahat ng amount na yun ay magiging due and demandable na siya. Okay, so tapos na tayo sa letter A kanina. Dito tayo sa letter B. Partial disposition of estate and application of the proceeds to the estate tax due. So, pwede, disposition shall refer to conveyance of property with a real or personal or intangible with the equivalent cash consideration. O yan. So, i-convert na into cash. The estate tax shall be filed within 1 year. So, ganun din. Yung number 2. Kailangan pa rin, in letter B, kailangan pa rin ma-file yung estate tax return within 1 year. Written request for the partial disposition of the estate shall be approved by the BIR. So, kailangan mong i-request na pwedeng parang i-convert into cash yung mga properties. So, hindi mo basta-basta pwedeng ibenta yung properties para magkaroon ka ng pera pambayad ng estate tax. Para naman to sa BIR, ibenta ko na lang, gano'n. Hindi pwede. Kailangan ipa-approve mo sa BIR na ibibenta yung property para makakuha ng cash pambayad sa tax, estate tax. No? The said request shall be filed together with a notarized undertaking. O yan, may pa-file mo yung request, may form yan yung BIR of request, tapos i-file mo sa kanila, dapat may notarized yung form, tapos notarized undertaking. So, ipa-notarize mo sa notary public. Marami namang nag-notarize dyan. Number 4, the completed estate tax shall be allocated in portion of the value of each property. Number 5, the estate tax shall pay to the BIR the proportionate estate tax due. Ayan, so yung estate ng, yung property ng decedent will pay to the BIR yung tax na due. Then, certificate authorizing registration shall be issued upon the proof of payment of the proportionate estate tax due. No? So, pwede lang ma-register yung property na binenta upon approval ng BIR. Number 7, in case of failure to pay the total estate tax due out of the proceeds of the disposition, the estate tax shall immediately due and demandable. So, kapag hindi ka nagbayad, pag nabenta yung ilang properties, magiging due and demandable. Ibig sabihin, sisingilin na sa'yo ng buo ng BIR yung entire amount ng estate tax. Okay, so sa cash in bank naman tayo ng decedent. If a bank has a knowledge of the death of a person who will maintain a bank deposit, alone or jointly with another, it shall allow the withdrawal of such deposit account subject to a withholding tax of 6%. So, pwedeng ma-withdraw yung cash, may withdraw yung cash in bank ni decedent, pero babawasan na siya ng 6%. Provided such withdrawal shall be made within 1 year from the death of the decedent. So, yung withdrawal daw, i-allow lang pag within 1 year. Within 1 year. Pag hindi kayo nakapag-withdraw within 1 year, magiging mapi-freeze na po yung account. So, kailangan mag-withdraw within 1 year. Kaya nga lang, babawasan na ng 6%. Yung equivalent estate tax nung cash na naiwan ni decedent. Okay, so estate tax credit tayo. So, meron ding estate tax credit. Katulad ng sa income tax, meron ding tax credit. Katulad nung sa donor's tax, meron ding tax credit. Actually, parehas din lang naman yung rule sa estate tax credit, sa donor's tax credit, at saka pati yung format ng computation sa estate tax, sa tax credit sa income tax, at saka sa donor's tax credit sa donor's tax. Siyempre, meron din tayong credit sa estate tax. What estate can claim a tax credit for foreign estate tax paid? Siyempre, kapag ikaw ay citizen at saka resident, yung properties mo ay yung properties mo ay magiging subject to estate tax within and without. So, kapag located yung property mo sa outside ng Philippines, syempre, pwede ka rin subject ng estate tax doon sa foreign country na yon. So, magiging very burdensome na ang estate tax. Kung ganon. So, that's why nagbigay ng consideration ang ating mga tax authorities. So, nagbigay sila ng tax credit to provide relief. So, only a state of resident at saka citizen of the Philippines can claim a tax credit. So, sila lang ang pwedeng mag-claim ng tax credit. Ulitin natin yung resident or citizen lang. A net taxable estate of a decedent who was a resident or citizen of the Philippines shall include his net taxable estate within the Philippines and his net taxable estate outside. So, sabi nga natin, regardless kung saan, within at saka outside the Philippines, magiging kasama sa gross income niya. So, matatax lahat. So, yun nga. Medyo masyadong mabigat. So, therefore, kailangan ng consideration. So, nag-allow sila ng tax credit para sa mga taxes na binayaran mo, para ma-credit yung mga taxes na binayaran mo sa foreign countries. Okay, so ito yung format ng computation ng estate tax credit. Katulad ng sinabi ko nga, very similar ito sa income tax credit at saka sa donor's tax credit. So, meron tayong ulit dalawang limitation. Limitation A at saka limitation B. So, limitation A is for one foreign country only ang involved. Limitation B by total kapag pag one foreign country ang involved, limitation A lang rather, no? Tapos kapag two or more countries na ang involved, meron tayong limitation A at saka limitation B. So, bukod sa limitation A, meron pa tayong limitation A. Yung limitation A is by country. So, isa-isang country mo i-compute Tapos yung limitation B is by total. Yung total na ng country outside the Philippines, no? So ito yung kanyang formula, tapos yung kanyang application. So pag one foreign country lang involved, so isang formula lang gagamitin mo, net estate of foreign country divided by net estate of world. Ayun na yan. So times Philippine tax. So yun na yun. Ayan. So, i-compare mo yan sa foreign estate tax na binayaran, pipili ka dun sa dalawa ng whichever is lower. Okay? Sige. So, kunwari, si country Z at saka si country Y, Z at saka si country P. So, mayroong dalawang foreign country ang involved, no? So, kunwari, isa dyan ay home country, no? Kunwari, isa dyan ay home country. Kunwari, si P, siya si Philippines. Ang foreign country ay si Y and Z. Okay, so, i-compute natin yung tax credit ni Y, country Y at ni country Z. So, ang net estate ni country Z is, ay Y muna is 300, si country Z is 150, tapos si Philippines is 1,050,000. So, ang total gross estate is 1,500,000. Now, let's do yung tax credit. So, ang formula natin is net estate for foreign country. So, yung kay country Y, 300,000 divided by yung gross estate world, yan yung total na 1.5 million times yung estate tax na 90,000. So, yung alam niyo naman na mag-compute ng estate tax, di ba? Yung net estate times 6%. So, kunwari na-compute na 90,000. Ayan. So, yun. Times 90,000. So, 18. Tapos, mayroon siyang binayaran sa country Y na 25. So, kung compare natin yung 18 versus 25, ang rule is whichever is lower. So, pipiliin natin si 18. So, ang allowed ay si 18. Next, let's do that the same sa kay country Z. So, 150 yung kanyang gross estate. So, tignan natin kung ano ang kanyang tax credit. Estate tax credit. So, 150 ulit, divide natin ng 1.5 yung total times yung estate tax na pre-computed na kunwari 90,000. So, multiply natin yung 150 divided by 1.5 times 90,000, 9,000. Tapos meron daw siyang binayaran sa foreign country na 8,000. So pipili tayo whichever is lower, syempre mas mababa yung 8,000. So per foreign country, ang allowed is yung 18 at saka 6 or for a total of 26,000. So since mayroong more than 2 country ang involved, so aside from yung limitation A, gagawin din natin yung limitation B by total, no? So ito total naman natin yung sa foreign country. So ang total ng foreign country, syempre i-add mo yung 300 saka 150 ni Z at saka ni Y na foreign country. So 450 yon. So divide mo ng total 1.5 times 90 equals 27. Tapos mayroon daw siyang binayaran. Yung total na binayaran is 33. Bakit 33? Kasi 25 plus 8. So 33 versus 27. So ang lower is 27. Ngayon, para malaman mo kung magkano ang tax credit niya, syempre, i-compare mo yung limitation A sa limitation B. I-compare mo pa rin. Whichever is lower. So, ang lower is yung 26,000. Okay, so who is liable for the payment of estate tax? So, sino nga ba ang magbabayad dapat ng estate tax? Ito is very controversial ito, di ba? Ang dami lalo na ng election, di ba? Sino nga ba ang magbabayad ng estate tax? The estate tax must be paid by the executor or administrator before delivery to any beneficiary of his distributive share of the estate. Such beneficiary will extend of his distributive share of the estate be subsidiarily liable for the payment of such portion of estate tax as his distributive share to the value of the total net estate. So, ito yung sagot sa tanong nila na liable ba? Liable ba siya sa pagbayad ng estate tax ng kanyang tatay? The answer is yes. Subsidiarily liable siya. Kasi nga, siya naman ang makaka-receive ng inheritance. So therefore, nagbe-benefit siya dun sa paggamit sa property. So therefore, magsi-share talaga siya. Although, in theory, ang sinasabing liable talaga is his estate ng decedent. Yung mga property ni decedent ang primarily liable. Pero as you can see naman dito, sabi, so saan na yun? Subsidiarily liable din si heir. So, ibig sabihin, liable pa rin. Mayroon pa rin siyang liability. In the first place, kasi siya yung mag-benefit. Diba? The executor or administrator may make a written application to the commissioner that he be discharged from personal liability to any deficiency in the tax hereafter found to be due and when yun. So, after na magawa na ni executor or ni administrator yung duties niya, ibig sabihin na partition na yung property na ibigay na sa mga heir, so pwede na siya mag-request ng discharge from personal liability. Anyway, ang executor or administrator is pwedeng heirs na din, di ba? Pwedeng mamimili na lang sila dun sa heirs. So, pwede rin si anak ang magiging executor or administrator na. Depende kung sino ang inassign ng decedent as executor or ng court as administrator. Okay, so for application, so paki-solve lang ito. Problems on estate tax credit. So, to be uploaded dun sa link na ilalagay natin dun sa Google Classroom. So, paki-submit na lang. Okay, so thank you very much once again. Yung assignment should be or must be uploaded dun sa ating link. Pag hindi nag-upload sa ating link, pag nilagay elsewhere, hindi sa ating link, it is considered as non-submission. Okay, so reminder na din ito. So, paki-complete na yung mga inyong mga requirements. So, ang next kasi magpa-final exam na, so magko-compute na ng grades. So, kapag wala kayong entry doon sa particular assignment, doon sa link na pre-provide ko, syempre, your score will be 0, considered as 0. Kahit nag-upload, nagbigay kayo, siguro PM or kung ano man, email, ganun, hindi valid venue yon. So, it is considered as non-submission. So, paki-check na lang and paki-upload na lang sa ating link bago pa mahuli ang lahat. So, ulitin ko, pag hindi na-upload dun sa correct venue, sa correct place, it is considered as non-submission. So, paki-upload na lang, paki-check na din. Kung mayroon pa naman kayong access, yung link andun pa rin naman. So, paki-check na lang sa Google Classroom kung kompleto kayo ng requirements. So, after this, pagkatapos nyo itong i-review, you can now take yung inyong final exam. So, good luck. This is Mr. Waldo F. Credo, your teacher in Tax 2. God bless.